When you love a man wholeheartedly, you love them, especially when you have children with them. However, if they physically, mentally, emotionally, and or financially abuse you, then your love is not being reciprocated. You deserve someone who is going to love you the way that you love. Ladies, when you make it out of a toxic, abusive relationship where you were not being loved the way you love, never go back. Not because y'all have children together, not because he has changed and wants another chance. Never go back or allow him back. It's just giving him another chance to hurt you again. Edwina Martin Brown was a beautiful 36-year-old woman with a big smile and personality that was one of a kind. She had 2 children, 1 son and 1 daughter. They were her greatest joy, and she was so proud to be their mother. 11 years ago, Danny Brown Jr., the father of Edwina's children, allegedly hired 2 men, Ivor Gordon and Quentin Jones, to kill her. They ended up killing her then boyfriend, Daniel Hill, and seriously wounding her. Ivor was sentenced to life in prison, and Quentin received 50 years in prison. Danny got the charges against him dropped after prosecutors reported that Edwina had stopped cooperating with authorities and that she and Danny married later that month. In my opinion, I believe he only married her to prevent her from having to testify against him. They were going to try to obtain additional evidence to convict him in the case. Danny would be arrested several times after this. Some arrests were for assaulting Edwina in front of their children. It's really sad that she would be granted a no contact order, and then she would go back requesting the no contact order to be vacated. Edwina was really stuck in the cycle of abuse by a trauma bond. I know personally what it feels like to be stuck in that deadly cycle. Edwina often posted about her love for Danny. One of Edwina's posts sent chills up my spine because it sounds like something I would have said. It said, "We 33 and 34 and been together almost 15 years, and y'all act like mistakes wasn't going to be made. We had to grow up together at that. The bigger picture is we struggled together, maintained together, went through together, and we gonna ball together until death do us part. I appreciate what we went through because it made us both realize what we really wanted. We both still fight for each other, and that's the best feeling. Whatever anybody has said or has to say has always been the least of my worries. Get here, then talk." The truth is, behind closed doors, she didn't even want to be there. She was just trying to prove herself right. Right for trying to keep her family together. Right for staying with her man. Right for accepting that he was less than. Right for settling for less than she deserved. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and internally, she was probably suffering from knowing she should have been left this man because she deserved better. Knowing instead of marrying him, she should have cooperated with prosecutors and he would have been behind bars where he belonged. You can tell she had so much love and support from her family and friends. But when you're in a situation like she was, you still feel so alone. I can only imagine the fear she had. She probably convinced herself that staying with him was safer, considering what he did when she did try to leave. Prosecutors wouldn't have to get evidence in the previous case to convict him because
Should be considered armed and highly dangerous. On March 27th, around 4 in the afternoon, police say Danny Brown went to his estranged wife's house on Fairley Drive in Little Rock.
The information we have is that Danny Brown entered the house. I guess maybe an argument ensued. He allegedly shot his wife, and she later succumbed to those injuries at a nearby hospital.
It's been over a week since that happened, and police are looking to get Brown behind bars, including the U.S. Marshal's Office, who has been asked to help.
Well, of course, we want to do this as safely as possible. We don't want anyone to get hurt, including Danny Brown. Preferably, we'd rather Danny Brown just turn himself in, do the right thing.
Police have gotten close to arresting him, but they say he's made it clear he will not be taken in quietly.
One of our biggest tips, I guess, came from Danny Brown himself. He actually called the Little Rock Police Department, gave a statement to them, and then made the statement that he would basically either harm himself or harm others if he was ever cornered by, anyone, especially law enforcement.
If you see Danny Brown or know where he is, police ask that you not approach him because he is considered armed and dangerous. You should call the U.S. Marshal's Office instead.
And we'll take it from there.
And Ashley's with us now on set. Ashley, I know you've done a lot of research on this case today. How far are we getting? Do we know anything about this suspect?
Karen, it's still a process. We're still working to confirm a lot, but what we do know is there are possible cases against Mr. Brown right now, possibly out of state, so we're still working to confirm that and make sure that we know everything we can before we report it.
Absolutely, we must confirm. Well, we know you'll do that, Ashley. You do a fabulous job at stories like this. It's very delicate. Let us know what you find out in the meantime.
Tonight at 6, a man Little Rock police called armed and dangerous is in custody after weeks on the run.
Danny Brown was arrested by U.S. Marshals at an apartment complex in Dallas, Texas. Brown is accused of going to his estranged wife's house on March 27th, where he shot and killed her. Marshals tracked Brown to a Dallas apartment over the weekend.
When they got there, Brown attempted to jump off the balcony, but then saw more officers and law enforcement on the ground. A short time later, he surrendered to police. He'll now be extradited back here to Arkansas.
To all of Edwina's family and friends, I am so sorry for your loss. If what Edwina went through, all of her hurt and pain, can stop someone from going through the same thing, then she didn't die in vain.